Hi everyone, welcome to Stories That Inspire. Bienvenidos todos a Historias que Inspiran. Mi nombre es Sharon y este es un espacio completamente bilingüe. This is an entire bilingual space where we bring you stories that inspire us, stories of women that are working their Mary Kay businesses and doing big things. And I have the honor today to interview and to connect with Mailene Labrador. She is a brand new Mary Kay sales director, and she is actually in her very first month as a sales director with her new title. And I'm just so excited to connect with her because she has a story to tell us today. Estoy bien entusiasmada de conectarme hoy con nuestra invitada especial. Ella es Mailene Labrador. Ella es una brand new, nueva directora de ventas con Mary Kay. De hecho, está en su primer mes como directora y hoy nos va a contar su historia. Así que si tienen alguna pregunta durante nuestra charla de hoy, quiero que las comenten porque queremos contestar sus preguntas ahora mismo y en vivo. If you have any questions during her story, please comment below, comment in the section, because that way we can answer them live on the segment. Hola, Mailene, bienvenida. Welcome, Mailene. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Todo bien, gracias a Dios.
Awesome. Bueno, you are a brand new Mary Kay director, but I know that your story with Mary Kay started several years ago. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Cuéntanos un poco sobre tu historia, cómo comenzaste con Mary Kay.
Yes. I started 5 years ago. I'm 26 years old, así que empecé a los 21. I was in college, and my mom was just diagnosed with breast cancer, so she had to stop working as a nurse. Mi mamá es enfermera, así que tuvo que dejar el trabajo y yo necesitaba algo para costearme los estudios. Nosotros no teníamos la beca, eso sí no lo sé decir en inglés. Scholarship?
Your scholarship.
Yep. I didn't get that, so I had to figure something out with my schedule, which was pretty crazy. Yo entraba a las 7:30 y a veces salía a las 5:30, 6 de la tarde. So I had to figure something out to kind of pay for my stuff. And that's when my recruiter, Maria Jose, went to my house. She showed me everything. I tried everything. I remember liking the cream eyeshadow we had back then, the gold one. Yeah. So I remember liking that one and liking the foundation, but I didn't buy anything. And when she started talking about the opportunity, I was like, okay, well, talk to me about what you're earning. I don't know this person you're talking to me about. So talk to me about your earnings. What have you been earning from this? And when she told me, I just asked her, if you can teach me, then this is what I want to do. Like, if you can teach me how to do this, I want to do it. Mm-hmm. So I thought about it after she told me everything. I thought about it for a little bit. She called me the next morning to ask me what I was thinking, and I just told her to give me 2 weeks because I was a full-time college student, so I didn't have a job. And I went to a private school, and I was a substitute teacher for somebody that was on a mission trip. So I worked there for a week, and they paid me just enough to get the starter kit and just sign up. So I was pretty excited. Así que después de probarlo todo y de que ella me dijera lo que se podía ganar, pues yo le dije como que, ok, pues déjame conseguir el dinero y entonces te llamo porque no los tengo, no trabajaba. Así que fui a sustituir a un colegio. El maestro se había ido de un viaje misionero, así que le dije, ok, pues voy a sustituirte toda esa semana, y lo que me pagó fue exactamente lo que yo necesitaba para entrar. Así que después de 2 semanas entré el último día el penúltimo, because it was March 30. So before the month end, I signed up.
So. Awesome. So then you started and you were still a student, and then then you continued with your Mary Kay business. Were you working it full-time, part-time? How did that work?
I was working, I want to say full-time, but with part-time hours, because I was being very intentional with my time. I studied to be a teacher, so I had a lot of lesson planning to do and a lot of material building and all that. So I was trying to be very intentional about the time that I had available to work my Mary Kay business. And then I I started going actually part-time to just taking a break when I was already like in the practice part of my degree, because I had to actually work at a school, no pay. So I was doing that and I stopped. So I'm glad that I had that flexibility to kind of make the adjustments to where I could work it a little more, and then when I had to take a break because I had to do college stuff. So I like that a lot. And then let's see, I graduated and then I started working again, like full time, because I was working at a school. Can I say how much I was getting paid?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was getting paid $7.35. Okay, that is not enough
An
for
hour?
somebody who, yeah, $7.35, and I studied 4 years and a half to get paid $7.35.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm gonna go back to Mary Kay now.
So
So
then,
I started just straight up arriving to the meetings and to do my work with the school uniform. So I would just put the beauty coat on and just go with it because I didn't have time. So I had to make the time.
mhm.
It was pretty full time.
I think I can, that resonates with me. A lot of people, I went to college too. I went 4 years to college. I have two, I have a major and I have a minor in business also. And sometimes you go into you have the stream and you go into the corporate world and you're able to actually work, you're even blessed enough nowadays to be able to actually work in the field that you went to college for. So that's a blessing in
Mhm.
its own. And we get to dabble in that and live that experience. But then there's like a reality check at some point for a lot of us. And it's like, okay, hold on. It's not really what I pictured or what they sold to me. So I'm assuming that's probably where like Mary Kay, Mailene was probably your plan B, but it became your plan A. So tell me like a little bit more about that. Like how does, your side business now turns into your full time? ¿Cómo es que llegaste a un punto de vida que tu plan B se convierte ahora en tu plan A?
So Mary Kay was always my plan A. Since I started, I was like, this is actually what I like because it had to do with makeup and teaching. So I feel like both things that I studied for and that I like were just here. So I figured this could be my plan A. I started working because I needed obviously the experience and I wanted to like get the hang of working as a teacher because my plan was to like get the certifications to be a Montessori guide and all that stuff. So when I saw how much I was getting paid, I realized that my plan A that went to plan B because I wanted to work in my field became plan A again. And I had to make it work. So I would literally get out of the school around 4:30, 5:30 maybe. I would grab a quick meal if I didn't bring anything to eat, and then I would just put the beauty coat on and just kept going. I would like come back to my house around 8 or 9, just not all the time, but most of the time because I was really intentional with like the time that I had to see people and just work my business. So eventually it could be my full time and I could just quit the school. So, fue fuerte.
I know that you've always been a very consistent business owner with Mary Kay. You've always been consistent with your business, but when you started your business, I remember you were not married and you had 0 kids. And there was also not a pandemic. Cuando tú comenzaste tu negocio, tú eras soltera, no tenías hijos, no tenías esposo, estabas, sin compromiso y con toda la flexibilidad del mundo.
Yeah.
Además, tampoco había una pandemia. Entonces, estas cosas nuevas suceden en tu vida y muchas personas dicen con la pandemia especialmente están paralizadas, no saben qué hacer, están buscando algo diferente, a lo mejor necesitan un ingreso adicional, pero como que el temor le ha sobrellevado de tal forma que están paralizadas y no han hecho nada. Pero tú pudiste, de hecho, en la pandemia fue que tú creciste mayormente tu negocio. Ahí fue cuando te convertiste en directora. So during the pandemic happens, a lot of people are looking for something new. They may need an extra income because either they lost their job or they're working less hours. But the fear of the unknown and what's going on, the pandemic has kind of like paralyzed them. So, but you were actually the total opposite. You grew during the pandemic, your business like never before, and you actually gave yourself a promotion. So how has that been for you? And what tips do you have for those who are kind of like, I don't know what to do. I know I need to do something, but.
Well, I had that fear even before the pandemic because, like you said, I wasn't married. I didn't have my kids, so that all happened the same year. Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, so I met my husband. I found out I was pregnant. The hurricane hit, and we neither of us got called back from our jobs. So the school never called me, and my husband never got a call back from his job until like a week before we decided to move. So he sat down with me and he was like, "Well, I have family in Texas, so I can move, and then I'll save enough money to like come get you." And that fear of moving to a different place and not being close to my family, that almost got to me. But I was already pregnant with my daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter, so I was already pregnant with her. I was bleeding. The hospitals were pretty bad. So I just decided to take a leap of faith, even scared because I was scared. Because I've never I'm not I don't travel. I was never in Texas before this, so I just took a leap of faith, and we moved. And here is where I decided to like, okay, well, I need to do something because my daughter's coming. And then when I had my daughter, um, like really soon after I found out I was pregnant with my boy, so I think that gave me another mentality of even if I'm scared, I have to do this for them. So I think like before the pandemic, I was already working this virtual because I'm always with them. But I think I slacked a little bit because I thought being a mom was what I was supposed to be at this time. Like I really thought that, okay, well, God gave me my kids now, so maybe now is my time to just be a mom and let this be another time. Like I'll just yo hago esto otro día.
Mhm.
But I think just seeing them, because I'm with them all the time, and I'm like, I know I can give something more to them, not just me, and not just my husband working overtime almost every week. So I wanted to really be intentional again. Like a last push, I was like, well, this is the last time I'm gonna actually be intentional and see it through, or just just stay as a mom and not try anything else.
Mhm.
So I decided to work virtually before the pandemic hit, so I could be with my kids because daycare's expensive, y'all. Okay, I paid I
Yeah.
paid $1,250 a month for my daughter,
Wow.
for just my daughter. Like imagine with my other baby. So I decided to quit that daycare because I was working at a daycare here. I decided to quit and stay home with both of them when he was born, and I just started to be more intentional. And it is hard to change that mindset because fear has a really funny way of like crawling into your brain and just staying there and make camp. But even with the fear camping in your brain, you just have to do it. Eventually, it'll go away. So even with my kids here, even with the crying, when I was working on my Mary Kay business, you could hear them screaming, you could hear them crying or laughing or eating or anything they were doing, like my daughter's gonna do now, because I'm with them right now. I had to do it. Like I think I needed to I don't know, be a mom and realize that I could do so much more than what I was actually doing.
Mhm.
So that's when I decided to push myself.
Yeah. And it's not easy. Maylene has two beautiful kids, 2 and under.
Yeah.
Tiene dos niños bellos, una nena y un nene, Luna y Lucas, y los dos tienen, o sea, no tiene ni un año, creo, ¿verdad? O acaba de
Lo
cumplir
acaba de cumplir. Uh-huh.
de 2 años, no es fácil. Pero, ¿cómo tú has podido manejar trabajar desde tu casa con dos niños tan pequeños?
Manejando mi tiempo. I take advantage of when they nap. Nunca se duermen al mismo tiempo, but I know when my baby's asleep, like right now, like the little boy, when he's asleep, I can do more things because Luna's already 2, so she is more easygoing for me now. But he's still breastfeeding. He is very latched onto me. So I feel like when he naps, I can actually do stuff. And then when my daughter naps, then I take a break to just focus on him and see if, do my mom stuff. But I really try to be intentional with the time that he naps. Or if they're both napping at the same time, which is really rare, then I actually sit down and like maximize that whole thing. And then when they're asleep, I do things around the house. So I know at that time, like I can't call anybody at 10 p.m. So that time when they're fully asleep, that's when I clean around the house and pick up the toys and all that stuff. Just so I can actually work when they take naps or when they're actually like right now. I'm very surprised my daughter is just like 100%.
You know what? It is a blessing. It's hard. I also have two kids and it's not easy. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 10-year-old, and sometimes they just don't understand that mom has to work. But I think that, there's a saying that says it's more what is caught than what is taught. And Mailene, believe me when I tell you that your kids, and they may be small, but right now you're teaching them so many lessons just by being courageous enough to work your business from home when it's not easy. Because I know that sometimes they come into our lives, they interrupt, they say things, and you're like, oh my gosh. But it's the reality of things, and we can't use that. We can't use situations in life or stages in life that we're living as excuses. We have to use them as our reason to do the things that we have to do. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Who inspires you? ¿Quién te inspira?
Oh my God. I think everybody that I've met throughout this 5-year journey, but I think what actually pushed me to work a little bit harder was hearing somebody, a Mary Kay director from here, from Texas. She's a mom also. And I think I just needed somebody to tell me, like, you need to forgive yourself for not putting your kids to sleep sometimes because you have to work. Or just forgiving yourself if you're like trying to work because what you're working for now is going to be beneficial for your kids. So I think that just released a lot of I don't culpabilidad. Like I felt guilty because I really thought that being a mom was the only thing I was supposed to be doing, and I think that's why I held back a lot on the business since being a mom, because I really, really, really thought that this was supposed to be my full-time thing. And it still is. Like I still, I'm 24/7 with my kids. My family's not here. All my family's in Puerto Rico. All my husband's family's in Puerto Rico, except an uncle that's like 4 hours away from me. So that's quite a drive. So I think now I can, like, I changed that mindset with what I heard her say, to just forgive myself if sometimes, like, once a week that you're not here for your kids because you're working is fine, because you're working for something that will benefit them and will give you more time in the future for them, to be with them. So I think I needed to hear that to actually like let go and just be like, okay, well, I have to make this work because this is what's gonna keep me here with my kids at my house, so I don't have to go to work and leave them somewhere else.
Yeah, so you're working right now for something that's going to give you a long-term investment. So it's short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Okay, so what is something that you're excited about right now? Entusiasmada en estos momentos.
Mary Kay related, because I'm excited about a lot of things.
Anything. What is exciting Mailene right now?
Well, I'm excited to help my team members. I know that they decided to start because they have big dreams just like me, and I think that, to me, I think it's a blessing that I get to stay home with my kids while I do this. I want them to be able to enjoy their stuff and see their dreams fulfilled, God willing. So I think that excites me a lot because I'm seeing mine through, and I want them to feel this happy, grateful feeling that I got going on because I get to do this while still being a mom.
Awesome. Así que quieres ver también enriquecer la vida, desarrollar a otras mujeres que también ellas cumplan sus sueños. Me encanta eso. Okay. ¿Dónde te ves? ¿Dónde tú te puedes visualizar en 5 años? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh God. Quiero tener mi casa. I want to have a house. So where I live, it's rented. So I actually want to save for the closing stuff for my house, hopefully. So 5 years or sooner. I don't know. I like where I am right now. I just want to be able to pick up my kids to and from the school. I don't want them to take a bus. I didn't do any of that. So I don't want them to do it either. I had my grandma picking me up. I had my mom dropping me off to school. So I don't want to delegate that to somebody else. That's what I'm working for. I want to be able to just pick them up, drop them off, be home with them. Like, I just want to enjoy their childhood. So that way, when they grow up, they can be like, yeah, mom was always there. Like I don't want to be the missing mom.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Me encanta. We talk about that when we work goals or we work our businesses, we have to work thinking about our why and identify our why. Hablamos mucho de cuando eres empresario, tienes metas, que trabajes siempre enfocada en tu por qué. ¿Cuál es ese motor? Tu por qué, el motor que te sigue empujando hacia tus metas a trabajar, aún esos días que a lo mejor no queremos. ¿Cuándo tú dirías que fue el momento en que tú pudiste identificar en tu corazón ese por qué? When was the moment in your life or through your story that you were actually able to identify truly that why? And what is your why?
Well, 5 years ago when I started, I just wanted to pay my own stuff. So I didn't want to make my mom worry about stuff because she had her chemos and stuff going on. So I didn't want to worry her with more things. But I think, I think the time, like the day that I came home with Luna from the hospital, just seeing her and being like, oh my God, like this is real. I'm a mom now. She's so pretty. Like I need to move because, I have to take care of her. And it was just an overwhelming sensation of gratitude because, I'm a mom, but at the same time, like I have to move for them. Like this isn't about me anymore. And frankly, I think it never was. I think God had a plan from the beginning to just put me where I am now to kind of be like, okay, well, I gotta move. Porque, o sea, como que tenía que tenerlo a ellos para darme cuenta que desde antes yo estaba haciendo esto sin saber que era por ellos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see it through. Yeah, I think sometimes you don't see it through till you're there. Because God knows. You have to wait it out to see it. So I think that's what happened with me. I had to have them to be like, okay, well, 5 years ago I started, and now I know why. Like, if I didn't have this, what would I be doing right now for them? I don't know. I have no idea.
That's really important that you say that because sometimes we do things or we have opportunities to do things in our lives, and we don't understand why that opportunity came about, but just the fact that you never know down the road if this is what either the path that God has for you or something that's going to be a blessing, 2 or 3 years down the road. You just never know. And so I'm going to ask you also, you have an incredible story of a mom who's strong, who has a will to do what she needs to do for her kids, and you're making it happen. You're a brand new sales director. What would you say? What are some words of advice that you would say to a mom that may be listening to you right now, who's kind of like, just feels like overwhelmed, What would you say?
Honestly, cry it out. It's okay to cry. There's some days, if you have more than one, there are some days. And sometimes even with one, just with Luna, I had my days too. But just forgive yourself because I think moms have a tougher time because we try to fill this standard of what a perfect perfect mom's supposed to be, and there's not. There's not a perfect mom. I think we all have our how do I say it? Our days. We have our days. You know, we're human too. We're taking care of humans, but we're human too. So just cry it out if you need to, and forgive yourself for not like just forgive yourself, because it's hard. I think no mom ever has said that being a mom is easy. So just, cry it out if you need to, take a deep breath and just start over. And if you're working or you're looking for something, know that you can do it. Um, and just pray it out. Pray it out. I think that helped a lot too, because sometimes you feel like you're drowning a lot. And I think between praying and just having that sense of clarity after you let go of the emotions and just let go of all that, you come to a sense of, okay, well, this is what I got to do now. And you just figure it out. And yeah, you're going to do great. I think being a mom, as hard as it is, don't make it harder for yourself.
I love it. Forgive yourself. Don't try to be that perfect mom, because there is no perfect mom. There's actually a perfect mom for your kids, because God chose you for your kids specifically, and that's all they need is you, your true self. Give yourself grace. I love that, Mailene. Okay, so really quick, because we're almost done with our interview with you. Your team's name is Resilient. Tu equipo se llama la Unidad Resiliente o de Resiliencia. ¿Por qué elegiste ese nombre?
I had another one before that, but I think it didn't resonate enough with my heart. So I figured after all we've been through, especially the ones that stayed in Puerto Rico, I think that we've been through a lot. All my team members are from Puerto Rico. By the way, I don't have anybody here in Texas yet. But I think that resonated with me the most because we've been through a lot of stuff. And especially us as women, we go through a lot of stuff and we still rise through and rise above. And I think that that name just fits with everybody in my team, with everything I've been through. And I think most people can relate to that. I mean, you're here today and nobody knows your story but you, unless you share it. So you more than anybody else knows what you've been through and that you've risen above all of that. So I think when I just looked at the word, I was like, I think this is it. And when I looked at the definition, I was like, yep, I think this is it. this is what I want to call it. So it stuck, and I've stayed with it for a year and a half before it came true. So yeah.
I love it. I think it's perfect. I mean, just knowing your story, you know, when you're resilient, you're able to withstand, right? It's like a tree that gets knocked by the wind or by whatever comes, the rain, and it still is standing. And, you know, you were able to do that as a college student with your business. You were able to do that with your mom's situation, health situation. You were able to do that with being a brand new teacher. You were able to do that. You withstood when you got married and it was something new. When you moved to Texas, you were able to do that with your first child, with your second child, and you're still doing it. So I think it's perfect. Yo creo que es perfecto para ti. Ok, entonces, ¿cuál es tu próximo paso en tu carrera de Mary Kay?
Just helping my team, help them grow where they want to be at, and just focusing on growth. All kinds of growth, personal growth, financial growth, and faith growth. I mean, you gotta grow your faith too. So I think all kinds of growth are welcome, and that's my focus. Just seeing my team grow and being able to just help them get to where I am if that's what they want, or just help them fulfill their goal. Because they didn't join for no reason. They had a reason. They had a why. They had a dream in mind, a goal. So I want to see it through for all of them, not just for me.
I love it. Expansion, growth. Bueno, me encanta que tu próxima, tu enfoque ahora, de ahora en adelante, es el crecimiento en todos los ámbitos. Crecimiento espiritual, personal, de finanzas también con tu negocio. Y te deseo todo el éxito del mundo. Gracias, Mailene, por tu tiempo. Que Dios bendiga tu negocio, tu familia, tus hijos, que son preciosos.
Gracias.
Siendo ejemplo de lo que es una mujer resiliente, para que le des permiso a otras mujeres también hacer lo mismo. I want to thank you for your time. I want to just say that I pray that God continues to bless you and that you continue being a woman of resilience, because when you do that, you open the doors and you give permission for other women who will come behind you to do the same. So thank you for being an amazing example of a story that inspires. Gracias por ser tremendo ejemplo de una historia que inspira. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Thank you for being with us. Bye.